Good evening and welcome back to the Celtic Unrestricted View. I'm JP and joining me in this fine Monday evening for the dial-in, my good man, Mr. Alan Stirling. Well, Alan, it's been a whirlwind weekend, as some would call it. Some would say it was a fantastic weekend. Some would say it would be a weekend from hell, depending on what side of the divide that you sit on. Fortunately for us, mate, we sit on the divide that is always winning, keeping that momentum going, mate, and pretty much been fantastic. It's good to see you, mate. I hope you're well, and I hope you've had a lovely weekend as much as I have.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Good evening, JP. Very well. Quiet weekend. Sitting watching some football, and obviously we've seen maybe the opposite side of the city. They were faltering, so we come into that game with the opportunity going kind of 16 points clear, and that's what happened. Did the scoreline of 5-2 maybe flatter Celtic? Possibly. I think St Mirren played it really, really well, and in certain parts of the game they put a lot of pressure upon Celtic. So I admire the way that kind of Stephen Robinson's approached the game, but at the end of the day, it was a kind of comprehensive victory, and it puts us kind of further clear, and we're opportunity to become kind of league champions again.
Yeah, good evening, everyone that's joining us across the platforms. I hope you are all well. Hope everybody's had a great weekend. As Alan says, tough tie at the weekend for Celtic away to St Mirren and Paisley. Got my Saints mixed up there. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know what you're thinking. Did you feel that, the scoreline flattered Celtic? If it didn't, let us know what you're thinking yourself. But we'll come to some comments, as we always do. And Jem, first of all, even JP, Alan, and the chat. What a weekend in the world of footy. The G-Doc, good evening all. James Kennedy, evening JP and Alan. Stevie, how you doing, mate? Good evening, JP, Alan. Help. Stevie, you're going to have to get in contact with us, mate, so that we can get your Joe Mother jersey over to you, pal. You're going to have to either, if you don't have social media yourself, mate, you're going to have to get a representative to contact us in Facebook Messenger. And either myself or Ryan, you can do it directly on our own personal profiles, or you can message the Unrestricted View page. But we need to get that over to you ASAP, mate. So please get in contact with us after tonight's show, if you can, so we can arrange to get that over. Because the lads are on holiday. Ryan's currently in Tenerife just now, and my good man that's on with me tonight flies out in a big birdie to sunny Tenerife on Sunday. So, Stevie boy, if you want your jersey as soon as, mate, you're going to have to get in contact. Alan, you looking forward to your trip?
The lucky Ryan is going to accompany us the following Thursday, so
yes.
No, as you say, I look forward to it massively. So 12 nights in the sun, and the Celtic Rangers game's on while we're all there, St Paddy's Day, so it is going to be pretty hectic, pretty epic, and I'm sure there'll be a few baby shams that are shared between us all. As I say, Ryan's popping over. I'm sure that supposed to be meeting up with our good man Webby, and myself and Ryan might do a video or two, so you just might get a wee video or two for the sunny islands of Tenerife that might have a better background for kind of what you're seeing back here.
Hold on a minute, I've no long painted this war.
Aye. Paint it blue then. Paint it light blue with a few clouds.
Get some fluffy wee clouds and a wee bit of sun in the background there, aye. I'll end up like her big glasses that does it well. What's her name? Judith Ralston.
Judith Ralston.
Aye. Couple more comments. Joe Hart's bald patch. Wow, what a name that is, man. -16. Be careful out there. Paul Duggan. Hail, boys and girls. Good evening, mate. Eminem, evening, JP and Alan, all in the chat. The subs made a big difference for the St Mirren game. We're all in the Yang Gang now. Don't worry about that. Eminem will come to that one, I'm afraid. My good man, Mr. Plunge. Evening, boys. Tommy Tallow. Good name as well. You can tell he's a big Celtic fan, can't you? Tommy Tallow. That's try and say that when you've had a few scoops Alan there in Tenerife, mate. Try and get 5 times fast and I'll send you €20 for a pint.
Aye.
Try and do a deal for Sloop. He's a unit. We dig on him. Be a good option with KT. Yep, we'll come to that one as well. I'm actually going to save that one so that we can chat about that later. Tio Isaac, enjoy the day. Same to yourself, pal. Hope you are well. But that's tremendous. Yam bam. Thank you, ma'am. I think, by the way, I should change the heading to the night show and just put that up. One yam bam. Thank you, ma'am. 100%. But yeah, it's been a great weekend. As I said, for Celtic, not so great for the other side, Alan. But like he says, mate, going into the game against St Mirren, they're always a tough customer. When you come up against them, they've had some really good results recently. One going to Ibrox and 1-2-0, quite convincingly actually. And yeah, obviously, I thought they were very physical in the game, Alan. At times I thought they were hard to break down, but obviously Celtic were just clinical, and that's the difference. That's why Celtic are the cream of the crop, mate, because they have that ruthless streak in them. When they do get opportunities, 9 times out of 10, mate, we take them.
I think St Mirren get tired, to be honest. I spoke to a few Celtic fans as well saying that. I think you're looking at the majority of the first half and then the start of the second half. I think at any points that St Mirren were kind of behind, I think they probably feel hard done by. You look at the statistics that were there. When you're going into kind of 55, 60 minutes, they had far more shots at goal, far more shots on target. But yeah, I think I was surprised at how well St Mirren done. I think they really took the game to us. But as you say, we were clinical at times, especially towards the end of the game. So at the end of the day, that's all that matters. The 3 points are on the board. As I say previously, I think the 3-goal deficit between Celtic and St Mirren, the 5-2, I don't think that really merits what we watched in the game. I think probably St Mirren were closer to that than Celtic. But we took our chances. We got the 3 points. And as I say in the last podcast with Ryan on Friday, I thought these next 3 games were massive. This was his St Mirren game, the cup game against Hibs, and then the league game at home against Rangers. They're 3 imperative games in their season. Season-defining games, because you're looking at the 2 league games. We've got the possibility now to go 19 points clear with 8 games remaining. And you're looking at Hibs that are probably the informed team in the country that have they lost in the last 15 games or such. And we're playing them at home at the Cup. It is a very winnable game, but it's one as well that you probably think that you maybe could have got an easier tie in the Cup. But you win, we've won one of these games now, you win the other 2. I think that's a massive season-defining moment that kind of leads to us picking up another domestic treble.
Yeah, you touched on, obviously, St Mirren bringing the game to Celtic, and obviously with them being the home side as well. In the first half, Celtic did have they did have 77% of the possession to St Mirren's 23, but St Mirren managed 8 attempts at goal. Only 4 of them were on target, whereas Celtic had 6 goal attempts in the first half, with 3 on target. But they are, I mean, you know, the manager, I mean, I've spoken about him on here, Alan, many a times, mate. I feel their manager's, he's a very good manager. I think he's, he's deservedly...
Underrated.
Yeah, he's underrated. Yeah, he's deservedly... I'm surprised none of the kind of bigger clubs like Hearts or You know, even Aberdeen when they were looking for him, I'm surprised none of them took a punt on him, Alan. I really am, because I really do think, you know, he's up there with one of the. I think he's very clever, Alan. He's very astute, and he's very tactically aware. And he's surrounded himself with a good team through the years, even for his time at Motherwell, and now on to St Mirren. I know at the beginning of St Mirren, that wasn't his team, and the results weren't going his way, but he then replenished the squad, and he was able to do that, and they've given him the time to do it. The two lads up front, I mean, the big boy Mandarin and the lad Olasanya, they're a handful for anybody. So I really do think, you know, obviously, I think it was it Olasanya that catches Trusty, which is why Trusty has to go off his eye. And then obviously Scales comes on. People are saying, you know, Scales, for me, just looked a wee bit ring rusty. It took him a wee bit of time to get going in the game. Some of his passes.
That hellbands, man. What's the Ron Weasley to Harry Potter? What was he doing, man? Honestly, he needs to get a grip of that. He looks good, but how he plays, he needs to get
Ryan doesn't, apparently Ryan, when he's in that cupboard, Ryan doesn't give him a brush. So he's just stuck. He's just stuck in that sort of.
It's got a hellband, and it's an elastic band that's run that then, aye. So, but I can't say it about anybody's hell. I'm waiting to get this cut, but
you're all right, big man. By the way, you seen me before my barnet was cut and all. Just the front bit of my hair just goes like the old band flock of seagulls, man. You just can't do it, mate. Do you know what I mean? But no, I really do think.
First half, you mentioned the shots at goal, shots on target. There was a couple of the attempts that St Mirren had that probably they should have taken. That boy Mandarin, that I think he might have thought he was offside. The one he was going through, and he kind of scuffed at it. So it was one of the games until about 60, 65 minutes. I'm going, wait a minute here, St Mirren definitely deserve to win this. You need to give all credit where credit's due. They definitely deserve to win it. But gladly we were able to kick on the last kind of remainder of the game, and we were able to kind of score a few goals and pick up the necessary 3 points. And at the end of the day, I've seen comments, that's what matters, the 3 points. But massive applause to St Mirren, how they were set up, how they played, and they're looking for a top 6 position. They might not make that with the points deficit they've got at present, but I'd be thinking that they might pick up some points in the remainder of the games they've got, because they do look as if they're a well-organised outfit.
Yeah, 100%, mate. I knew it was going to be a difficult game myself. Obviously, I wasn't on Friday with yourself and Ryan, mate, when you were having a chat, but I tried to do my best while I was watching my daughter being in the comments and being present, listening to these. And I knew it was going to be a difficult game, just with the fact that it's always a difficult game when you go there. They have beaten us in the past under Big Ange, and you know they have taken points off us before. So I knew it was going to be a difficult game. Just as you were talking, there's a couple of wee comments came in about your hair. Plunge says it's Milanos and Springburn for you, big man.
I've seen that before in there. That's when I get the normal cut. Sadly, I'll be putting more of the
Dyes in my head or stuff.
So that'll be another place I'm going. Sorry, Plunge.
And James says, at least you've had a shave, Alan. By the way, they're going to come in with comments shortly about grooming products for you, big man.
Aye.
And Kenneth Todd says, hair today, gone tomorrow. That's no bad, by the way, for a Monday. That's all right. That's no bad. That's good. James Kennedy reckons you're better without the beard, darling.
What?
Here you go.
Here's your number, James.
That's what was coming next, wasn't it?
I'm happily married, but it's all right.
Here's your number, James. Here's your number. By the way,
my wife would say much about that, but
it's up in the thing, mate. Squirrel Bar's toilet wall.
Aye, I thought it was the toilets across the road for that. It was in.
Is that the ones you've got to pay for?
Aye. They'll take 50 quid notes.
Aye. Just put the money in a slot. Well, it is time, as I said, folks, earlier. It is a Monday night, it is a dial-in, and it's time now to get our first man in, which is the main man himself, Mr. Francis Lester. Good evening, mate.
Evening,
How are
boys.
you?
Evening. I thought
Hope
you
you're
were
keeping
shaving
well.
with me, Francis. Come on.
I hope you.
What was
I thought
that?
you all whipped that half off, mate. Come
I missed that there,
on.
what?
I thought you all whipped that half as well.
Oh, no. The ladies
No.
like it. The ladies
Good
like it. They
lads.
like a wee tickle.
There you go.
You've been visiting Mars recently, aye?
No. Just the hospitals. I only go to
Aye.
hospitals. And
No.
I ended up back in hospital again Friday.
You're kidding on, man.
No. And
What's
I've
going
got
on?
this Wednesday again. I'm falling apart.
Jesus, what's going on?
I don't even drink. There's something wrong with my kidneys. I think it's all the other drugs I'm taking.
Wow.
It must be. But who cares?
Have they
As
kind of
long
got
as
to the
Celtic win, I
bottom?
don't care.
Have they got to the bottom of it? Have they?
Nah, no, yeah. I have to go in for tests on Wednesday coming, so we'll see what happens. But what will be, will be. No, but I'm fine. I feel all right. They phoned me out the blue on Friday for the week before when I was in, saying there's obviously a blood test back. You need to come up right away. And I was like, oh, here we go. You know, but it is what it is, you know. So we'll wait and see what happens. But I feel fine. I feel fine, you know. But one of the things, that's what happens when you get old.
Oh, when Yang scores 2 goals.
Oh, by the way, listen, I've been as critical of Yang as a lot of folk have been, but for me in the last 3-4 games, I think he's been absolutely superb. Been absolutely brilliant. The boy seems to have fun his mojo. I don't know. It's just everything he did. I thought it was fantastic when he came on. He turned the game. He turned the game against someone because we were very, very lucky in Saturday because they should have had a penalty kick when it was you know, it could have made it 3 each. For me, that was a penalty. I thought it was a penalty. It definitely caught him. It was like the other one Johnson was involved in, I think. Try to think back. Can't remember who it was against. Very, very similar. He followed through and caught him, you know. So I thought we got away with one there. But again, if you remember a couple of months back, I was saying, we're playing really nice football. We're getting hundreds of chances and we're not putting them away, if you remember. And I was saying, we need to start putting these chances. No, we're not playing as well, but we're putting everything away. Everything that comes along, we seem to be tucking away, which I'll take every day of the week. You know, that's 10 goals in 2 games. That's the main feat when you're no, in my opinion, you're not playing, I don't think, anywhere near the standard we can get to.
I think the last 2 games, Alan, personally, as Francis says there, I think the last 2 games, mate, we've been in second gear. Obviously, the game midweek against Aberdeen and then into the weekend. And I really do think the last 2 games we've been in second gear. But obviously, Francis brings up a big point, which is obviously going to be a talking point for tonight, mate. The Alistair Johnson challenge, I text you after the game, you and Ryan, and it says, for me, that's a penalty all day long and borderline probably red card.
I think if it is a penalty, it's a red.
Aye.
I seen a comment today as well. When you look at, do you remember the penalty that was looked upon? Was it on the Engels? The Bayern Munich one up in Caio or something, centre half.
Yeah,
Mind they
just
touched the ball.
That's right.
And then stamped on him.
That's right.
Then they decided because he just touched the ball, it didn't matter about the contact after it. So
That's right.
You're trying to keep up with the rules, and you think that there's a similarity there to that. I know that Johnston's tackles right through, he's hitting him with an ankle, but there's still contact after that. They've just touched the ball.
Yeah.
So I don't know if there's a certain rule there. For me, if it is a penalty, it's a straight red.
I wasn't even sure if he got the ball.
No, I think he gets the slightest of nicks on it, Francis, if anything.
Yeah.
He probably get more of the ball than that by a Munich player anyway. So if you're looking, if that's the standard that they're setting for the kind of fouls or the kind of the impacts, then it should be okay. But would I be surprised if they would have get a penalty in a red? Probably not. It was an important part of the game. I think that's maybe the part of the game that St Mirren might have been tired, and then we started to score goals. But just before, it's kind of I've seen a comment. The changes that we made probably made the difference. You're looking at my fans' favourite, Mr. Reader up front. It was non-existent at all. Honestly, there needs to be a discussion made. Absolutely non-existent. Offered nothing. Zilch. Absolutely nothing. And this isn't talking about his price tag. This is just what he's offered the last few games. You see the difference when you put Maida through the middle. We scored 3 goals basically. Aye. We got the 3 points. We need to look at it in a positive way. We've won with 3 goals, but aye, there's certain parts of the game that I think a lot of Celtic fans will look upon and go, that should be better there. But all credit to St Mirren. I think they played a very good game. What was your thoughts on the performances? Maybe what I mentioned there, Ida, Francis. What you think, mate?
I'm the same as you. I'm the same boat as you. He does. I don't know what's wrong. There's just something no clicking with the boy, and I think, in fairness to him, I think he's feeling it himself. I don't think the fact that he's not getting starts normally is helping him. You know, for me, I don't know what it is. His body language is, for me, in the last couple of games as well, has been really off. I know. I don't know what's going on with him. It just seems to be. I don't know. He's not making the runs. He seems to kind of drift back away from the forward line as well. For me, strikers should be getting into the penalty box for any balls coming in. He seems to be lacking behind the play all the time for me. You know, I think
that's the way Rodgers wants to play, Rowe Francis, isn't it? Because he always likes his number 9 to come in and link up the play.
Well, maybe, but I don't think he's that type of player, JP. I don't think he's that type of player. I don't think he's got the skill. He's great at coming really short, but maybe to the halfway line when we're breaking out and taking the ball, turning and laying the ball off. But then he's got to get back up the park and get back into the play again. You know what I mean? And for me, he's too big a lad. He's not got that pace. Like Maida could go back and win the ball in our corner flag and be still up front for the ball coming in.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's no Ida's fault that Maida's just been outstanding, and for me, you can't start these games, especially the games I think like against Hibs and the Rangers following week. You've got to start with Ida through the middle. There's no chance you're going to start with Ida in the games because for me, you need to be at it for the beginning.
You're confusing me. You said you're confusing me slightly, Francis, because you actually did say there. You've got to start with Ida through the middle.
Oh, sorry, I meant Maida. Maida. I know.
It's a drug. Maida dropped a pound coin. They bent down up in the back of the heat.
Aye.
No. So Ida, Maida. It sounds the same.
Aye.
It's definitely not the same in the park. Tell you that.
100%.
No,
so,
I know.
Francis, in terms of St Mirren, and obviously were you taken back with their approach to the game, or
no?
were
I
you
knew
quite
exactly how they would play because as I say, my dad was a big St Mirren supporter. He's followed the buddies all his days because obviously I'm from Paisley, you know. So, I wasn't surprised at all, especially when I watched them the previous week against Rangers. They did played the exact same way. You know, they've not got the players to combat that. You know what I mean? Whereas we have. You know, I wasn't surprised at all. And the park didn't help either. I thought the park was in a terrible state. It was the ball did seem to be running through on that park. It was bobbling all over the place half of the time. You know, and that doesn't suit our game, especially when you're trying to pass out for the back. You know what I mean? And still, Big Trusty was doing my nutting with that jersey grabbing. I can't get away from that every time I watch him. He's still grabbing the jersey. In fact,
seems to be the modern day game now, doesn't it? It happens all over.
But he's terrible for it, JP. I actually mentioned it to a few folk, and I've got a group chat with my sons and a group chat with her, and every single person I'd made this point to over the last 2-3 weeks came on and said, just before Trusty got injured, you're right, Frank, he's grabbing the jerseys again. The guy's not even moving, the corner kick's not even taking, and he's grabbing the jersey. I says, he can't stop to help himself. And if you're grabbing and wrestling with a player, you can't jump to get rid of the ball, as we discussed last week. He just keeps doing it, you know. And I think eventually he'll get penalised for it.
You know, lifting shots, isn't he, Francis?
Oh, but then big scales come on, but he was woeful. He was woeful. I thought he was terrible when he came on. You know what I mean? I think that led to half of the chances someone got. He was all over the place. Absolutely all over the place. Again, in his defence, he's not played for about a month or so. He's hardly had a game, hasn't So, but I think that's one of the reasons that someone were breaking so easily, because they were just getting through. I mean, Schlupp, I love Schlupp. I think he's a great player and he's getting right up the park. But there's nobody that, remember we discussed last week with Barry, when he overlaps or goes down the park, that somebody's got to drop back into that position. You can't leave Scales one-on-one with anybody with pace, because he's either going to foul him or he'll get caught out. He gets too tight or he'll just get bypassed.
He's lost a bit of his confidence as well, Scales. I'm not saying he was the most confident player ever, but since he's trapped out the team, you look at the goal that was conceded, it was during the week, wasn't it? The one that was listed off. Does he look the most confident player now?
Nah.
Is it maybe being dropped? Is that maybe has an impact on him?
I think that comes with no playing as well. I think there's a lot of ring rust there, and you can see it in him. You know, in terms of his passing ability and everything else. For me, I don't know about yourself, lads, but I don't think there's a problem there with his passing. Some of his passes were really nice here. Like
going forward, fine. It's just the defending.
Clips into Maeda, clips into Jeffrey Sloop and stuff. And I know what he's saying, but he's always had a problem with that, because initially when he was first taken out of the team, I don't know if you remember, lads, but it was a big boy Sockler that had outpaced him at Celtic Park. And then it was a semi-final at Hampden. Rodgers took him out of the team, and you were kind of like, whoa, as if nobody seen that coming. We all predicted that Scales would probably start that game, and all of a sudden he's out of the team. And then Rodgers gave his explanation as to, well, Washington Trusty's certainly a lot faster than him.
If he keeps his horns down.
I've had this conversation with a couple of people, Francis. What's your thoughts on both Trusty and Scales? Because I've had it put to me by other Celtic fans that they don't reckon there's much between the two of them, whereas I think Trusty's better.
I think Trusty's got more pace than Scales, obviously. If he'd keep his horns down and stop grabbing jerseys, I'd be a lot happier. I think he's possibly a better defender than Scales, but I still think we can get better. I think we definitely need, in my opinion, another CCV quality central defender. If we want to do anything and continue to do well in the Champions League, and it's specifically for the Champions League, he'll do well in Scotland. Trusty will be fine all day long in Scotland, but Champions League, I think we need. I know he's had a couple of good games, but he's had a couple of dodgy ones as well. I think you need somebody that's going to be regularly, turning on that level of performance that keeps players out, and defends properly, that's the way I feel about it,
Alan, what about yourself, mate? In terms of Francis's point there, looking into the summer, mate, do you think Brendan will be looking at another centre back, as Francis says there, someone like Cameron Carter-Vickers?
Possibly. We want to improve every position we've got. Depends on the progression of kind of Dane Murray as well. Is Dane Murray going to progress so much that he's going to overtake the position of kind of Liam Scales as backup for centre halves? I think Brendan will probably look at, we've got kind of 3 centre halves at present, 1 youth player and Dane Murray. Depends on a lot of things as well. You've got a lot of wages there on kind of Lagerbielka, Mike Narovsky, Stephen Welsh as well, that they've all got to come back.
Yeah.
So personally, I would like another centre half, because I think Trusty is far better than Scales.
I think we need to move all them out now. See those players you just mentioned. For me, they all need to go.
It's harder just going. Use are gone now. We'll need to kind of find players.
I do think there's a buy option with Lagerbielka, though, isn't there, with FC20, I think. I do think there's a buy option on that, isn't there? Yeah.
There will be, but it's going to be hard to kind of move these 3 players on. I think hopefully we can do that, but I think in regards to Liam Scales, if we want to upgrade and kind of continue to progress year on year with regards to kind of European football, especially if we want to make sure we're in that 24 next year, if we want to make sure we're qualifying for the Champions League, first of all, we don't want to take that for granted. So, yeah, I think that we should be looking for better than Liam Scales. That's no a slight or no a criticism of Liam Scales, because he's come in for the League of Ireland. He's been on loan at Aberdeen. Then he's come back when nobody thought that he was going to have a future at Celtic, and he's managed to kind of put a very decent contribution towards us winning trophies and playing well. So I really massively criticise Liam Scales, but at the same time, if we're looking to go forward and progress, I think we're looking for a better standard of player than Liam Scales.
Well, not just for the Champions League, because next season we'll need to look at it for the league, because we've got the Glasgow 49ers will be there next year, you know what I mean? With their big shoulder pads and that, you know?
Yeah.
You need to watch out for them, they're coming.
Well, especially with I don't know if we're at a disadvantage because they'll be wearing helmets next season, we'll know.
No, they all are helmets.
I'm so glad that was you who said that, Francis. It's no me, pal. Francis, obviously, before we move you on, mate, to get on the next caller, in terms of this period now, with Celtic having long weeks now to recover between games, do you think this will help Celtic now kick on and wrap up the league?
Definitely. I think the rest in between games will kick on now. You know, this is the nitty gritty. You know, the prize giving end of the season. You know, I mean, this is where we normally do kick on. You know, in fairness to a lot of the players, you know, I mean, they've been playing plenty of games. You know, I mean, midweek Saturday, Sunday, midweek Saturday, Sunday, midweek. You know, I mean, it's been going on for months now. You know, I mean, so I think the rest will do as well. You know, I mean, and I think we'll definitely have the advantage of having that full week's recovery with the boys to just kick on and get this league put to. I mean, Hibs will be a hard game on Sunday. I'm taking the grandsons up to that because my sons are offshore again. So I'm looking forward to that game. I think it'll still be a hard game, but I feel we've got enough to. I think the fact that they beat us at Easter Road, I think we'll beat them. I'm quite confident we'll put them away. But the following week. We've got that wee team for the water, you know what I mean? We better take plenty of tissues, you know. So, because I feel a right doing coming on for them. Honestly,
the fact that, you know, obviously we'll touch more on that nearer the time, but the fact that the fans are also going to be back into witness such a thing is probably going to be even more special.
Will they? I heard they're all coming, but I heard they're all coming wearing balaclavas with no holes in them.
That's just so they don't get recognised when they get a
so they can't see the team.
Somebody get to work one day
they were well the night before.
Some of them were just picking up out of bed looking like that. But Francis, thanks very much, mate. Listen, you take care. I hope your health starts to improve and you start getting better.
Well, we'll see what happens. They'll probably give me more pills, you know what I mean? So it'll cause something else to go haywire.
As long as mate, you're okay. But thanks,
lads.
Again, have a good one, mate.
Cheers, bye-bye. Bye-bye. Hail, mate. Thanks to Francis for coming on and having a chat with us. Peter McGlone, he's asked how many are they allowed in. It's 2,480 tickets they will get, Peter. So basically it's 4% of our capacity. We'll get slightly less than that because on the natural island they have a smaller stadium than us.
So it'll be nearly 2,000 for us, so it's just percentage per stadium capacity, shall we say. So me and Ryan spoke about it. I think it is a good thing. I think it probably should be more because we're taking away from what is probably the best game in our country, and we're trying to get better TV deals. If you're taking away from that, for not having away fans, no matter anybody's opinion, then it's going to be less attractive for these TV companies to come in and kind of make better offers. So we need to use every tool possible, and if that's the case, that there's fans back allowed in each stadium, whether that be Celtic Park or Ibrox, then I think that's the way we should be going forward, because we need to try and progress with the league and especially the TV money, so that we better the league and we've got more money to spend, etc., to try and have some sort of impact in Europe.
Yeah. So Peter's now saying, will we get more than the wee corner I think it is more than a wee corner, isn't it?
I will extend a wee bit into the brim one. So we'll have that corner and then it'll extend maybe just before you get to the first goal post, I think. So, aye, that's what it'll be.
Yeah. Yeah, and
It's just when you watch the European game, it is.
Yeah, the old away allocation was 7,000. By the way, that's what Hibs have got for. That's what Hibs have got for Sunday. Hibs have got 7,000 tickets for the game on Sunday. So they
and the difference when it comes to cup games, but I think you're allowed to kind of ask for that higher percentage.
Yeah. But I'm just, I think that's pretty impressive at the fact that I'm hearing that they've sold out their allocation for that, and there was that demand, Alan. Because not so long ago, mate, Hibs were regulation and the bottom of the table, mate, and a lot of the fans probably wouldn't have wanted to, to come to that game. But now that, as you said earlier, Hibs have hit a wee bit of form now. Obviously won the derby yesterday as well, and now they're looking to take on that allocation. That's pretty impressive, and also that'll be a big noise coming for that side of the stadium come Sunday, mate.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it makes it more of a spectacle and more of an event for especially TV. When you've got more away fans in. So
yeah,
I know that we've all says that it's better when they're not there, and we've got that kind of party atmosphere, that home atmosphere when the whole stadium's just Celtic fans. But when you take a wee step back and look at it, that is beneficial for the Scottish game. Yeah, it is beneficial for us as a whole. And it is beneficial for Rangers as a whole. It's just that they kind of took a huff at a certain time when Mr. Edward scored. There was parties going on at that section of the stadium constantly. So
scarves getting tied around posts.
But I think for the good of the game, that it should be that there's a decent amount of away fans in, because as I say, we're moaning about constantly that we're getting nowhere near the kind of TV money that other countries are.
Yeah.
Countries like Norway and Sweden are getting more money than Scotland. So we can't moan about that and then no let away fans in, because it takes away from the TV spectacle. It takes away from everything that usual football knows, that away fans are there, and if away fans score, if we score at Ibrox, then the TV would immediately go into the kind of Celtic fans. So, for me, it's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, 100%, mate, I agree. Right, time now for our second and last caller of the evening, as indeed the man himself, Mr. John M. Good evening, how are you?
Evening, lads.
Evening.
How are you doing?
Aye, fine, yourselves?
Oh,
yeah, all right. Yeah, all right.
Oh,
after the weekend, I think we're all okay.
Yes, definitely. What can I say?
Oh, what are you hyping, John?
No, that's why I was just about to say it. Alan beat me to it.
What do you think, John?
Is there a satellite delay between us tonight?
Aye, I think so, aye.
No, Alan says to you, what are you thinking there, John, in terms of what's your thoughts overall with Celtic and things that have been happening? And
as regards to what would you mean? How they're playing and the
what are you phoning in for?
Aye, obviously, what are you phoning in for tonight?
I'm just trying to get the nicest way possible, John.
As Charlie Nicholas would say, aye, what's your point tonight, caller?
Aye. No, I just feel as though like the Celtic are back on form again. I mean, you've probably watched them there the last few weeks. Game against Aberdeen, 5 goals, and then we scored another 5 against St Mirren. And we were all moaning months ago about it's criminal to miss his chances and do it. Never fear with a Celtic team, because at the business end of the season, as a lot of people know, they just come to the fore. You know what I mean? Basically, the best team in Scotland, and they're for me, and they're going to do another treble as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Alan, obviously I've said numerous times on the channel, mate, that, this is when the cream always rises, mate. When, you know, Celtic are always there and thereabouts when medals and trophies are ready to be handed out, mate. So, as John says, it's no surprise that we're seeing this now.
No.
Potentially Celtic now going to start to click into gear.
We should be. Not when you look at the last number of years, and it's where Celtic have came from. We've got the best players, we've got the best infrastructure, we've got the highest finances, we've got the highest wages. We've got the best manager, an elite manager. So we're looking at this, and you look at how bad a position that we're so-called rivals, or the so-called big clubs, as Brendan says, like you like to say earlier, JP. The so-called big clubs, the position they're in. So, yeah, we're taking advantage of it. But you're looking at kind of missed chances before. Now we're not making as many chances. I think we need to find a wee bit of middle ground there. Make a wee bit more chances and take a wee bit more chances, and then everybody will be happy. But to say, we can't complain, obviously, but when you take this season as an overall, you're looking at we've took a step forward in regards to Europe, whether that be a favourable draw or not. We've managed to get into the last 24. A pretty good performance in the tie against Bayern Munich. We've won the first cup of the season. We're now 16 points clear. And if we win against Hibs on Sunday, we're looking as if we've got, I don't want to be disrespectful and say a penalty kick towards the treble, but we're in a very, very strong position to pick up that treble because, as I said earlier, you're looking at Hibs are probably the informed team in the country at present. So if we can if we can put Hibs out, then it makes us massive, massive, massive favourites to go on and kind of complete that domestic treble.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree, Alan. I think, John, obviously Celtic kicking on, and if they go and they lay down a marker against Hibs and win by a clear margin the way they have done the last two games, what sort of message does that then send to the rest of the teams that's in the cup?
I think it sends a huge message to the rest of the team. I mean, okay, home advantage. All right, we lost the game at Easter Road, but I still think we should have got something out that game. Bearing in mind that we got a goal chopped off, I don't think it should have been chopped off. And the one jotters through passes to Kuhn. You know, all ifs and buts. But okay, we lost the game in the end. But if Celtic go out on Sunday and have a right comfortable win, which I think they will do against the Hibs, I think it leaves a big marker for the rest of the clubs, for the rest of the season. Okay, listen, the rest of the clubs in the league know that, you know, it's a tough ask when you go to Celtic Park to try and get anything off of Celtic there. And we all know as fans that it's a fortress. It's a fortress. And I think they put if Celtic beat Hibs on Sunday, they won the cup for me. Definitely, they'll just go on and do the treble. They'll go on and do the treble, no problem. Minus 16 points in the league. I know a lot of people say that you can potential banana skin games, and you can, but they've got Sevco have got to come to Parkhead on the 16th of March, and I can see us annihilating them on the 16th of March. And the Barry and the Dreamers will go away with their tails between their legs. Definitely.
Seems to be a modern day pattern, Alan, for that team to be going away with their tail between their legs, mate, because it's, especially Saturday there, in the last three home games now have ended in defeat. So, like I say, as John says there, I think
the home game against us still ended defeat, and that's what's still playing in my mind. So we need to just concentrate on us and make sure that we beat them. Just forget about it. For me, it's all good fun laughing at them and all that, right? But at the end of the day, they gave us a proper scalping the last time, and we need to make sure we don't turn up in that manner. And at Celtic Park's a completely different ball game. I expect us to win comfortably, but we just need to lay complacency, make sure that we turn up and we get 3 points.
Nobody remembers them beating us though, Alan. Nobody remembers that happening.
I think everybody,
Back
every
up to
Celtic
Celtic
fan felt
fans
like
day.
this because it was sore. It was
But
sore
we
to
also
watch that.
battled. We
But
also
the game
battled
meant
them,
nothing. The game
The
meant
game
nothing.
the game didn't mean anything.
No, it did. Every one of the games means it, and the kid yourself on if you think any of the
No,
games
No,
would be like.
I'm
to the
talking about
extent
points.
of it, for me, the extent is it didn't mean anything. In the extent it didn't get them back into a title race. It didn't win them a trophy, and it didn't have an impact on the season.
I don't play
If
for. I
anything,
don't
their
care if I'm playing
season's now
Kirby with him. I never
lost.
want to get beat after him. So that honestly, that's it. Always matters. And for me, I fancy strongly to win on the 16th. I think that we're showing that we're far and above a better side, but we can't be complacent like we were the last time. We need to make sure that we're in the top of our game, and as long as we're on top of our game, I don't think anybody in this country can compete with us if we play at our optimum.
No chance.
Nobody's at our level. There's nobody at our level once we're on it. John,
No
obviously, there's been a lot said the last couple of days about a certain man that keeps coming off the bench and doing well of recent. The young lad Yang, he pops up with a couple of goals. Francis says he actually was a man that changes the game on Saturday for Celtic in a positive way. We go on and then we won the game comfortably. What's your thoughts on Yang of his recent form?
Well, I mean, we were all critical of him a few months back in some of the games he played in. He just wasn't at it. But he seems to have a new lease of life somewhere. So I don't know if he's been, well, Brendan said his girlfriend's here, so maybe that's put a spring in his step. But he's certainly stepped up to the mark, definitely. And I always thought there was a player there somewhere in that boy. And he's proven it now. He's proven himself that he deserves a place in the team.
Yeah.
I don't know if he will get a place in the team with Kuhn and Maeda and Jota there. You know, I don't see him being first pick. Maybe in lesser league games, no lesser teams. But he's stating a claim, that's for sure.
Alan, obviously, of recent, mate, he certainly made a chat before we came live tonight, mate. No matter what your thoughts are on the individual and what's happened in the past and etc., he's now coming up with numbers that he wasn't doing before. So he's now popping up with assists. He's now chipping in the goals. He's now, and I mean, at the weekend, you send on a sub, mate. You can't ask for any better than that. Coming on and scoring two, and then obviously you see Kasper Schmeichel sending him out to take the applause from the Celtic fans, which was obviously well deserved.
Start with the good things for a start. Credit where credit's due. I think the last few games that he's played exceptionally well. I think he deserves the credit over the last couple of games, the last 2, 3, 4 games, whatever it's been. Scored goals, he's had assists, but guy's been here for nearly 2 years. Right? So 2 or 3 games, that goes a long, long way before we start kind of making a judgment that he's going to be a decent player for us. For me, the majority of the time he's been here, he's been way, way below the standard that we need. If he continues to keep up this level for until the end of the season and beyond, then we have a different conversation. Then we say, right, this guy's going to push get into the team. But credit where credit's due. The last few games, he's upped his levels, and he's looked very good. Played exceptionally well at the weekend there after coming on. Can't give him enough credit. But you're looking at how poor he's been since he's been here. I hope this is the kick that he's needed. I hope this is when he kicks on, steps up to the mark that Celtic desire and require, basically. But for me, I'll not be making any judgment on Yang at present. This has to happen consistently. And he has to play at this level for a long while until Celtic fans kind of forget how badly he's been playing previously for me.
I think when you start putting the ball in the net and you start making assists, mate, I don't think it's long before Celtic fans start applauding you and start cheering, singing your name and shouting because fans are.
No, you give him
For me,
credit for that, but you can't say
fans
he's
are
going to
fickle
put
that
into the
way.
team.
No,
He's not going to be a fan's favourite until he starts doing that consistently. Started for a couple of games, and I appreciate that. I really like that he's doing that. But when you look at over the last 2 years, how many times we've been going, oh Jesus, Yang, that's hopeless, mate. We've been doing that constantly. So I'm hoping this is the
100%,
turning
mate,
point,
but
and I hope we were all wrong.
I think I know, Alan, you've got to give him credit for the fact that he's now learning English, mate. That's probably took a big thing as well to do because before, when he came here originally, mate, he couldn't speak a word of English. That's how he'd a translator, but now he's trying to do interviews and speak in an English tone. So I think it's just down to timing. I mean, he's still a young lad. He's came to a different country. He's come Glasgow's probably totally night and day for where he's from. I can only hazard a guess. I've never been to South Korea, but it's a totally different culture, totally different way of living. I mean, I don't know how comfortable I would be going to the other side of the world and being asked to work and put on a performance and do things every day and do this and do that. So, not only that as well, on my own. Yeah, I mean, on my own. He's not got any family. He's not got anybody apart from the big lad that's on loan to Hibs. Go on. He was the only one in Big O could speak his lingo. But now he's learning. And you can see the players now starting to change. I mean, listening to Engels' interview, and right away, he was, you see when Yang came on, he complimented him straight away. So I've noticed a change with the other players with Yang. And I don't know if they're becoming more comfortable with him, and he's now starting to show more and more. But when he's only been asked to come off the bench, it's even more impressive, John. I think when he's coming off the bench in such little time he's getting, and he's now hitting the numbers. I know what Alan's saying though, because he's now got to do it over a period of time for us to go, right, wee man, now we understand that you're going to be a massive contributor here. But obviously time will tell with that.
I mean, it's a great aspect in the game that the boy came off the bench, scored 3 goals. One was chopped off, obviously. And then, he gets player of the match. I mean, do you know what I mean? So that's a big accolade to the boy as well. But, I know, like say, a lot of Celtic fans are up in arms about him, been here for 2 years, he's not done it. But you hit the nail on the head there saying that, he's came from a different culture. He's had an interpreter. Maybe he wasn't grasping what Celtic were all about and blah, blah, blah. He was here to get, But now the penny's dropped, I think, with the boy. And I think, he'll come good, I think. He might not make it into the first 11 because of the players that's in front of him. Yeah. But coming off the bench, I really see him making a big impact that he's done up to now.
Yeah, I think Ryan touched on that one as well about the impact. When he's coming on, he's making a good impact. Maybe he's going to be that player that comes off the bench. But I'm looking at it the other way, lads. And I've seen Brendan get rid of guys like Tillio, Kwon's out on loan. He's now let Thiago Holm go. Lager Bielka, Mike Nawrocki doesn't play. But for some reason, he has played, by the way, in massive games as well. Not just games against Ross County and games against Dundee. He's played in the Champions League. He's played big games for us. And even Lewis Palmer, to an extent, who was ahead of him at one point, not so long ago, he's now not at the club. So Brendan has persisted with this lad. And I'm only thinking it's because of he must be doing something behind the scenes that we're not privy to. And he's working well, and he must have a good attitude. Because, Alan, we all know how Brendan, he's mentioned that even with young lads, you've got to do more. Having talent's not just enough. You've got to show me that you've got hunger, desire. And he must be doing something, mate, over other lads when Brendan could have very easily brought in a Lewis Palmer when things weren't going well just because he thought he was more experienced. But he has persisted with a wee man, and that he's brought him on in big games. He's gave him that exposure. And obviously now, I mean, it's took that length of time, but now, hopefully this is a period now where we're saying, this lad is now starting to really improve. And, you know, who knows, maybe next season could go on and start doing a bit of damage.
Yeah, we hope so. We're behind every kind of Celtic player, and we hope every signing that we make is a success, but we can only judge on what we're seeing in the recent times. As I say, well, when we're looking at kind of very recent times in the last few games, well, you need to give Young credit. He's come on, he's scored goals and assisted.
Yeah.
He's played really well. John says he get kind of player of the match after coming on for a small part of the game. So, you need to give him massive credit for that, and hopefully that kind of confidence lets him kick on. But when if you said that you kind of 6 games ago, when you're putting in comparison with the likes of kind of Jota, Maida or Kuhn, is Yang anywhere near the level that they're at? If we bring him on as a sub or rotate the team, is that a massive quality drop? Then it is a massive quality drop. So for me, as much as we're giving him credit, and I think it's well-deserved credit over the last few games, I think he really deserves that credit, but we need to see that until the end of the season. We need to see that week in, week out before we can start putting him at a level where we're looking at kind of Maida, Jota, Kuhl. We know these guys perform kind of week in, week out mostly. Yang hasn't hit that level, but for me, we've got every confidence behind every Celtic player. We want them to succeed. I mentioned Adamida earlier. I want him to succeed. I want him to kind of take his game on.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't happen all the time, but as Celtic fans, we're behind the Celtic players. We want them to succeed, but we need to see that on a consistent basis.
Yeah. John, obviously, before we move you on, mate, moving forward with Celtic, do you see Celtic now at 16 points just now? Do you see Celtic making that a bigger gap?
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
we've got them in a fortnight, so I can see us keeping them doing it at Celtic Park, and that'll take us to 19. And and before then, what was that? Leave about maybe 7 games to go in the league after that, and I can see that. And we're still to play them at the Debt Dome, but you know, I can see them dropping more points and us gathering more points. So I can see it being well in the 20s before the end of the season.
It's a good shout, Alan. Obviously, Ryan predicted at the beginning of the season he thought Celtic would win the league with more than 20 points, mate. So I think there's lots of Celtic fans with that kind of mindset.
It's pretty possible now, yeah. We're sitting at 16, a home game against the other side of the city, our next league game. So if we won that, takes it to 19, then yeah, it could go into the figures. But I think we're just looking at the important part if we can pick up a domestic treble. Obviously, the points total is very nice. It's always nice to kind of put that gap between yourselves and your rivals, but let's just get it finished just now. That's what's important. Get the league finished and hopefully pick up the Scottish Cup. Right, I know, but we're not going to Cologne here looked after on, are we? We're going to go, all right, the league's done. Just don't, there's no point watching this anymore. The league's finished. Scottish Cup or not? Nah, don't worry about it. Just turn off, everybody.
But it's not a case of let's get it finished. It is finished.
That's the way you're supposed to say it. You can't be disrespectful. I think it's finished. I do. But I'm not going to say that now. I don't.
How?
Too late, you already have.
I know.
But no, cheers, John, for coming on and giving us your
Cheers,
thoughts.
lads. Great
Cheers,
talking to you.
Have a good one.
Have a good one, mate. Cheers.
Bye-bye. Hail, hail.
Hail, hail. Bye-bye.
Hail, hail.
Cheers to John, our second and final caller of the evening, for coming on. Aye, he managed to beat you into submission there, Alan, and get you to say it.
You're saying the same as me, but you know what I mean. You can't. Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying.
Trying to be
I
as
know.
professional as
You're
possible.
trying to be as diplomatic as you can. Of course you are, but deep down we all know. Listen, we all know the new. That, what is it? Is it after
it's going to
now?
take an absolute catastrophe for us.
Am I right? You're a stat man. Am I right in hearing that after they lost on Saturday and we won, we now only need, is it 3 or 4 more victories now and that's the league
Three.
finished?
3.
3? Oh, well, there we go.
So we can win it now the game before.
The split.
No, the game before the game before the split. So we've got, sure, after the Rangers game, we've got another 3 games before the split. One of them might, no, it's no. So it might be the game after the Hearts game. Is that right? Aye, because international break then the Hearts, I'm sure. So aye, it should be. Well, we'll get 7. Well, basically, we'd have 6 games left, so there'd be 18 points available, and we'd be 19 points ahead. So when it gets down to 7 games left, if we win that game, then we win the league.
Pandavidosi. That's. Would we play them the first game after the split? Would that be? Because obviously our fans are getting in there, I know, aren't they?
Aye, so they'd probably put it halfway through it.
Right. Okay.
They only put it at the start usually, well, because the league's still to maybe 7-10 points, so they put it at the start so that there's no risk that you can win the league at that stadium. So if it's already won by that point, they probably put it at the second or third game in. Yeah.
Okay. Apologies to my good man Ryan. I seen you popping into the chat there. I do apologise. I wasn't able to get your comment up. The lads were chatting just as you done so. But I hope you're well, mate. Hope your wee jolly boys outing with your mates over in Tenerife going well, pal. I think it was raining yesterday, Alan, in Tenerife, mate. You might be sitting there, you smile on your face, knowing that you've still got another week to go. Hopefully the weather picks up by then.
It's sad to see, aye. Obviously, I'm hoping that it picks up by then. The pub's always dry, so I'm alright, but I think Ryan's been having he's been having very liquid cocktails or something, so he's well on it.
I've seen some of the mad colours of tumblers he's giving away, man, for that bar, and I'm like, oofed.
You're never going to fit them in your suitcase, Ryan. Behave.
He's got a cheek to ask for a strawberry, something, I know.
I know. So, I hope he's having
a big green ice cream cone and a tumbler.
He gets back Wednesday. I leave Sunday, and then he leaves again to come back on Thursday. So
Thursday, aye.
He's only back for a week, then he's away back off.
Aye.
Tenerife. So I'll be there. So looking forward to it. St. Paddy's Day will be pretty epic. I'm sure we'll keep you updated on social media. I'll have a few daft photos, I'm sure.
Pretty sure he's will, aye, and I'm pretty sure that chat will be getting inundated with photos and videos, no doubt. But no, it should be good, mate. Obviously, that's the end of tonight's wee chat. Myself and Alan will be back on Wednesday morning live. So just keep your eyes peeled on the socials for that. Before I finish up, Stevie, if you're still watching us, you need to get in contact with us, pal. We need to get your jersey over to you, pal. Because I don't fancy doing another bonus spot to get to somebody else.
You want to donate it to me, Stevie, that's fine. That's all right.
But you need to message us, mate. If you've not got social media and you are of the older generation, which is fine, and you maybe don't have social media yourself, you can
phone me on 999.
You can message, like I say, get a relative to do so. And Stevie, I never seen your comment, pal, and it's probably buried in about 100 odd comments away again. So I do apologise if you've already commented with something about it, mate. I want to say I'm sorry. I never seen that because obviously we've had 2 callers in tonight as well, and I've been quite busy and otherwise occupied. So I do apologise to everyone else. I've not been able to get everybody's comment up. Only the ones that I've been able to see and the input that the guys have been chatting about tonight. We don't actually have an email address for the show. We don't have an email address. Is there anybody? Is there anybody in your family that's got Facebook that you could ask them, or even Twitter? Somebody can send us a message. We've got direct email addresses, Stevie. But I'm not prepared to. I'm not dishing out the details live, Alan. You know what I mean? You don't know what you're going to be inundated with if you do. So, but we don't have one for the page. So, if you want to get someone to messages, if you want to get somebody to messages on your behalf, or even if you can messages on your through the Celtic Unrestricted View Facebook page or the Twitter page. The next time you're at the Morven, I'll be there.
Wednesday.
We don't have the jersey. Our sponsor, Mr. Alec Bevery's got that. That's why I'm saying you need to contact us so we can arrange a drop-off for you, mate. So, somebody needs to message us. That's the best thing to do. Message the page or message my Facebook page or message Ryan's Facebook page. Somebody send us a message. Get somebody, your daughter, your granny, your uncle, your granda, your
Donald Trump.
Aye, next door neighbour. Somebody just send us a message on your behalf and we can go for there. Because I'm not dishing out my email address live on the channel. It's just that's not happening, I'm afraid. So you'll need to open a show email address. We will do for the future, aye. I think that's definitely something we're going to do for the future. But in the meantime, mate, you need to message us. But above all else, take care, guys. Hope everybody has had a good Monday. Looking forward to the rest of the week. And as I said, we'll see you again on Wednesday. Take care. Hail, hail. Bye-bye.
Well.